Good day, everyone. This is Jason Santos, and for today, we are going to open the topic of international business and trade, and we will have the introduction of this course. In this video, we will be covering first three parts of chapter 1, which is job security in the flat world, technology flattening the world, and globalization 3.0. 10 flattening forces will be covered on the next meeting. Chapter with a case from a book, The World is Flat by Thomas L. Friedman. In this book, there's a story about a certain radiologist wherein he was a little bit complacent with his status. Because come to think of it, if you are a radiologist, um, you might think that this skill is very hard to come by, or having people with this skill are very hard to come by, which is true in a sense because it would take several years of studying medicine and specifically radiology, and then after that you would have to get several experiences, certifications, and all in order for you to say that you are really skilled enough and you have the mastery of that subject. But nowadays, the book is pertaining to some challenges that would put your security or your job security in danger. In this given, there is a big downsize in the patients that the radiologist encountered. It is because it is easily digitized, or the results of the x-ray can now be gathered digitally and even interpreted using several softwares or tools, you know. So how would you feel now if you are this person? Would you still feel secure knowing that your job can be outsourced anywhere in the world for evaluation? So, what Thomas L. Friedman is trying to point out in his book is that the world nowadays is already flat. Flat in a sense that technology has made it easier for data to be transmitted worldwide very easily. And to how did he learn this? As to how did he found out or realize this? It was because of his trip to India, where he immersed himself and met several chief executive officers or CEOs of companies. And during that time, when he was traveling, talking to key people or talking to CEOs, he learned that advances in data transmission made it possible for information to travel across the globe in a matter of seconds. And that is the main reason why he thought of the world as already flat, making us all global neighbors. So, this is somehow related, or actually related to the case that we have stated earlier during the opening, that technologies, as beautiful as it is, can sometimes pose as a threat, not just for businesses, but for people and even countries. Apart from technology evolving rapidly, I would like to point out that the trade, which is the main theme of this topic, international business and trade, has grown exponentially fast and high from the 1990s and even up to 2008. So you could think of it already surpassing 60% based from the chart that we have. So what this means is that apart from the physical trade or the trade of commodities, goods and services, information is already tradable very easily through the internet, through social media, through the use of gadgets like cell phones, laptops, mobile devices. You can send tweets, information, contact someone across the globe in the matter of seconds. So according to Friedman, we have already entered globalization 3.0. In his book, he mentioned that there were three types of globalization, or three phases that the society and people have already faced. The first one was the Globalization 1.0, which was between the period of 1492 to 1800s. So, what were the advances during this time? It was the development of transportation technologies like flight, trains, sea travel, and all, colonial projects like projects within countries. No, the know-how shrunk the world. In terms of geographical reach, paving the way for sustained international trade. And during this period, according to Friedman, the main agent of globalization was the nation state globalizing for empire, for resources, or for power. And then after that period, we have entered the phase which was called Globalization 2.0. It was during the time of 1900s and ending around the 21st century. Now, this era of globalization was spearheaded by companies globalizing for markets, for labor, and for resources. So, the activities related to this phase further broke down the barriers of international border trade and cross-cultural connections. So, during the globalization 2.0, it was that time wherein companies took on the initiative to put their products and services outside of their home country, outside of their continents, going to other places, offering products. And you could attest to that up until this day, because you could see or use products that are made from abroad or even order them from abroad. And then the third and final phase of globalization, according to Friedman, began around the year of 2000, wherein Friedman noted that what we call an exciting phase, which is the globalization 3.0. Now, this is already built around individuals. So take note, globalization 1.0 is about countries. Globalization 2.0 is about companies. And then globalization 3.0 pertains to individuals. Which is very true, because nowadays anyone, practically anyone, can put out their content, their products, their services, anything that they would like to promote or sell online. They could people could be transacting from the Philippines to United States, then back to Asia, so on and so forth. And then you don't need companies to back you up. You can just do this on your own practically, because services are already divided, and there's plenty of them. Like if I would, let's say, be selling a certain product, let's say this is a clothing, a t-shirt or a clothing brand, and then I have turned into an influencer, and then I have customers who are abroad, like in the US or in China or in Japan. I could easily send my products to them, right? Whereas if we would compare that to globalization 1.0 and 2.0, which was a little bit primitive, nobody has thought that that could be done, you know, because of social media, because of internet, because of the recent advancement in technologies. Globalization has been made very possible. And to connect that with what we have been mentioning early on, is that these technologies, again, as glamorous, as beautiful as it is, as majestic as it is, can spell disaster or dangers for others, for other industries. Let's take, for example, the story of Blockbuster and Netflix, wherein Blockbuster failed to innovate. They have refused the proposal of Netflix to stream their videos. And look what happened to Blockbuster now. They have been obsolete, and Netflix has taken over. In the same manner, we could also look at Kodak. Kodak failing to innovate. They have not embraced innovation. So people take pictures using their cell phones nowadays. They no longer need high-end cameras, films, and waiting for days for the picture to be developed. You could take a selfie using your cell phone and in a matter of seconds publish it online in your Facebook, Instagram, and other social media platforms. So that's the power of globalization 3.0, the power of technology, you know. Now to cap this discussion, let me post a question for everyone, for all of my students and for those who are watching this. Uh, with the recent events of the pandemic, the sales industry for clothing has gone significantly down by 73.5% as of April. I'm hoping that they are starting to recover now. So an example case of that is that, let's say, this clothes, it's a trouser and it's made from Bangladesh. The reason they were not able to fulfill it is because the buttons and the zippers are are being sourced or taken from China or ordered from China, and then China was not able to fulfill it because of the lockdowns, the pandemic and all. So they were not able to fulfill that order to the United States. And apart from that, during the time of lockdown and pandemic, clothing was not really deemed as a highly essential product because people stayed indoors. They are not going out. They don't need for highly fashionable clothes. They actually have, most people actually have a lot of clothes and weren't able to use everything because they just stayed at home, you know. So the question here is that, do you think the pandemic will be ruining or will be destroying globalization 3.0? So with that, I'm finishing this discussion. And for those students who are under my class for international business and trade, I'm expecting for you to answer that question in the form of an essay in our classroom. And for the rest, for those who are watching my videos, thank you so much. And I hope you tune in to our next episode. And then, as always, feel free to follow me in all the social media platforms I'm in, which is YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. With that, thank you so much, and to God be all the glory.